Welcome back to another edition of Straight Shooting Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Dujane Blaine. And today we're going to be talking about the NFL and looking at our Thursday night matchup to start off with. 49ers and Rams, both coming off some really abysmal games. Look at the 49ers. They started off excellent against the Green Bay Packers, looking very stout. Kaepernick throwing for over 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. In the last 3 weeks, Cap hasn't looked so great. 412, no touchdowns, 4 picks in the last 2 weeks. And they looked like crap this weekend, as the Colts looked more like the 49ers. Looking at the Rams, they had a comeback win earlier in this season, and the last 2 weeks have fallen off and completely got overwhelmed by Monty Kiffin and that Cowboys defense, only having 18 yards in the first half, and Sam Bradford getting sacked 6 times. Terrible. He hasn't been sacked that many times in quite some time, about 4 games dating back to last season. So when you look at these two teams, I think when you look at the 49ers, they're definitely a better team than they've showed in the past 2 weeks. Vernon Davis, not sure if he's going to be available this game. He's still dealing with the hamstring injury, but they have enough weapons on that football team to get the job done. Got to start with running the football first. You know that Aldon Smith is out IR with a issue there, a personal issue, and he's going to be dealing with that. But I don't think that's enough to really throw this defense off. They have a few injuries over there, but they have enough talent to get the job done. When you look at the Rams, I mean, this team is up and down. It's a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of team. They have a great defense. I think they just flat out got overwhelmed by the Cowboys. When the defense out there way too long, the offense, and you know that Cowboys offense is going to take advantage of it. And I see that happening again this week. Just not enough weapons for Sam Bradford. This defense, we know, for the 49ers is very tough. They like to get pressure on the quarterback. He was sacked 6 times last week. I don't see that changing. I see Cap getting back on track by running the football, finding Anquan Bolden, spreading the ball around, getting the job done, and taking the win this weekend over the St. Louis Rams. It's going to be a great game, though. Anything can happen, but I think this is the game that the 49ers get back on track. Now we're going to take a quick look around the league. We're going to start with the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo coming off a tough loss last week. E.J. Manuel getting out of a rhythm, unlike he was the week before. The Ravens coming off a stellar win against the Houston Texans. I'm taking the Ravens here. They're on a roll. They looked very solid without Ray Rice last year. They had it working on all 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, and special teams. I expect them to continue to keep EJ off balance and win this football game. Next, we look at the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland coming off a pretty big win against the Vikings. And who was quarterback? Hoyt. That's right. Hoyt throwing to Jordan Cameron over and over and over again. Really looking very well. But I think this Cincinnati Bengals team is just that much better. When you look at the weapons on that side of the ball, look at that running back that they have back there, that tandem back there with Bernard, Jarvis Green-Ellis is going to be very tough for the football team. I'm taking the Bengals in this one. Bears and Lions. Bears trying to separate themselves in the division. Lions trying to keep pace with the Bears. Hey, what can you say? We've said it in the offseason. Protect Cutler. Keep them clean, get the running game going, and they're going to win football games. This defense has stayed quite true to form, and the offense is coming around. Cutler looking very good, and the Lions coming off that win against the Washington Redskins. I still think whether Reggie Bush plays or not, this is the Bears' game to lose. I'm picking the Bears here. They're going to be 4-0 after week 4. And our next game, Seattle Seahawks, Texans. I'm taking the Seahawks here. Texans look awful. should have been able to beat a team that they clearly, in my opinion, are better than. Again, we have a hot football team, 3-0, Seattle Seahawks. I see them coming in here with that defense, overwhelming Schaub, and them getting another win. Last but not least, Colts and Jags. Do I need to say anything else? Yeah, Blaine Gabbert's coming back. So what? We're taking the Colts. And that is going to be this Sunday's matchups. Hope you enjoy those matchups as much as we are. Looking at our other matchup, Jets and Titans. Both 2-1. Jets trying to stay with the pack in that division. Geno Smith's looked pretty solid, considering some might call that first game a little bit of a fluke, but he's managed the football game very well, and despite the hate against Rex Ryan, that defense has been playing pretty stout. Look at the Titans. They had a comeback win over the Chargers. Jake Locker looked very good, willed his team back against those San Diego Chargers, and hey, both teams are coming in here looking to keep pace in their division to try to stay ahead of the game and keep close so they can have a playoff spot come late in the year. Now, you look at these two teams, I know people overlook the Jets, and a lot of them overlooked them last week. I felt that the Bills had a better hand with E.J. Manuel. They really shook him pretty bad over there, not allowing him to get in the rhythm. Jake Locker has been up and down as a quarterback. If this defense can play well and play like they have, especially last week, we could see a totally different ballgame, but it stems on them stopping CJ. And Chris Johnson could possibly have a big game, but we're going to have to wait and see how this Jets defense comes to play. My personal opinion, I think that CJ can have a very good game. I think Jake Locker can keep the ball rolling against this Jets defense, and it's all going to come down to turnovers. Geno Smith had 2 turnovers last week. I expect him to have turnovers this week. That's going to be the difference in your ball game. We're taking the Titans here in this football game for the simple fact that turnovers, when you lose that turnover battle, you lose the football game. And I see that with the solid running game that they have over there in Tennessee, they're going to be able to execute a nice win against a very decent New York Jets football team. Well, I hope you enjoyed this weekend's matchups as much as we will. And we thank you for tuning into this show. Again, if you have any comments or anything you'd like to express, leave it at the bottom of our show, and we'll be glad to keep that dialogue going with you. If you have any questions, anything you'd like to hear our take on, shoot us an email, thestraightshootingst@gmail.com. And as always, subscribe to the show. That's how you stay locked in and know when new shows come out. Again, we thank you for watching another edition of Straight Shooting Sports Talk.